Yo, what's up? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, on another episode, people, of what do we call this? The Redirect, Regroup, Refocus podcast. Now, listen, y'all, I know y'all paid attention to the intro there. I'm very excited about this because what we're doing is we're actually revamping the podcast for all of you today. So I want to real quickly explain the approach that we are now going to take for this episode here and beyond, okay? So with me being a life coach, a lot of y'all want to know what I do. You know what I mean? So I always have to explain it to people. I'm general based and everything like that. Sometimes I get sick and tired of doing that. So guess what? Your boy can show you better than he can tell you. So that's what we're going to start doing with the Redirect, Regroup, Refocus podcast. Now, I'm going to start actually doing live coaching in real time. So and y'all are in for a treat today because I do have somebody on here who is willing to get life coached. Now listen, people, then these sessions, they might be about, now these going to be free sessions. This is just what I'm doing for y'all so y'all can get on the insight. So one thing I do ask is this. Okay, while you listen, keep an open mind. Okay, we are not here to criticize people, talk about them, shame them, because we have to remember this. Okay, everybody's story is different. We all have something that we are either going through or we went through. So what I need each and every one of you to do is to show love and compassion to everybody who gets on here and who happens to share. Each case is different. Each person is different. And I really want to take the time to really dive deep in with some people. So this will go on for about 30, 45 minutes, but we'll just play it by ear, everybody. So without further ado, coming to the stage, I do have Miss Nikisha Spiller, who is here, and she is the brave soul who is going to get life coached today. What's up, girl?
How you doing?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm doing great.
I really appreciate you coming on here and saying you could hook a brother up with this today. You the first one.
Yay! I like being first.
There you go. That's what's up. So how I like to do this, I just like to dive right in. So okay, everybody, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask her a series of questions. But the first question I want to ask you, Nikisha, is what do you want to get out of this session today?
Um, as much as possible. I'm big on clarity. I can always improve on self improvement, self
Hmm.
awareness. Um, just becoming a better version of myself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And breaking through whatever I have to break through in order to get there.
Okay. Okay. I got you. I got you. So give me something. Be a little more specific. What's something that you would like to have more clarity on with yourself?
Um, something. My patience.
Okay.
My
Okay.
patience is a very big factor. Sometimes I can be very patient, and other times I get excited about things and I jump the gun. And so sometimes I want to find balance in that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Of maintaining excitement, but also sometimes just processing a little more before jumping forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else? You got anything else?
Um, like I said, my need to sometimes feel
Hmm.
heard.
Okay.
Um, where learning again, once again, just when to be heard, how to be heard, and then when to be quiet.
Okay.
And then when I want to be heard, doing it effectively, to be honest. So
Okay.
there's an outcome, you know.
Doing that effective. Okay. Now, for my people on the other side who are watching, what I'm doing is I'm taking notes. I have my iPad here and I'm taking notes. So that's what we do with the process as well. There are certain things that we're going to talk about that I'm going to have to recall as well. So I can't remember everything. So I'll also write this down during the session. So that's what I'm doing as well. So let's talk about that need to be heard. Okay. Let's talk
Mhm.
about that. So with that need to be heard, uh, with focusing in on that a little bit more, do you feel that people aren't listening to you? Do you feel that people don't want to take your advice when it comes to certain things? Why specifically did you say that?
I used to be very quiet growing up, very,
Hmm.
laid back. And sometimes people take my laid back demeanor as I'm a pushover, which I'm very far from. I'm just a
Okay.
little more, reserved. And then other times I'm an extrovert, you know what I'm saying? And I'm
Hmm.
outgoing and I talk. Um, but I've also learned I got a lot of wisdom. And sometimes I can say something and because I'm direct, sometimes I'm that type of person where I'm like, hey,
Hmm.
and not in a rude way, just, if people ask me something, I'm going to tell you the honest truth of what I see. Or if I see something funny, and I've had sometimes people
Okay.
take it as, oh, I'm trying to rain on their parade, or, maybe, people love to use the word hate on you or whatever. So I've learned sometimes just to fall back.
Okay.
I don't also want them to think I'm trying to control them. It's just for me in
Hmm.
friendship or anything, if I say I love you and I see something, I should be saying something. But
Okay.
I've learned everybody's not ready to receive.
Okay. And
Um,
why do you think it would? Do you think people would receive you as controlling? Do you think that just has to come off with how you kind of say and do things, how you kind of move?
Probably sometimes something I have to face, not getting in my feelings if somebody doesn't listen to me. You know what I'm saying? Just falling back because I
Okay.
can be very adamant on it and be like, okay. And then I have to realize it's their prerogative. You know what I'm saying? If they're not offended by it, they're not seeing a problem, or they may not be in the space yet to come to the realization that this may not be the best thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So you're learning to allow people to come to the conclusion on their own.
Pretty much. And
Okay.
it's hard for me sometimes because I'll be like, you don't see this.
And that's what I was gonna ask. How come is it hard? Why is that hard for you?
When I love people, I love them passionately, and
Hmm.
I'm very protective and territorial sometimes over certain people,
How come? I know it's
especially
because you love them, but because I love people too. You know what I mean? There are people that I love, and there are people that I will kind of look out for in a sense. But do you feel that you just have a need to do that pertaining to certain situations?
I do. Sometimes I want them to see what I see or think how I think,
Okay.
and have to realize everybody doesn't think like I think, and what bothers me doesn't bother them.
Okay. What
And I've learned
Okay.
also the more you push people, they'll do the opposite. So sometimes just say your piece and keep going.
Okay. And that is very true. That's very true. I do want to let people know that too. A lot of times, even with me doing what I do, I don't end up. I can give advice. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, what it is people coming to their own conclusions themselves. That's what I do as a life coach. And it seems like to me you've come to a lot of different conclusions. You know what I mean about
Mhm.
certain things. You know what I mean. So that's a great thing. You know that makes part of my job a lot easier when I encounter people because
Okay.
sometimes they look at me and they say, okay, Jeff, well, maybe might need help with this, that, or third. But if you need help with it, though, if you need help with a particular subject or area, you know what I mean? I do what I can to let them come to that conclusion themselves. You know what I mean? Because the answer is
Mhm.
always within the person. You know what I mean? And a lot of times people don't see that part.
Yeah.
They look for guidance, but they don't understand that they are guiding themselves. So honestly, it seems like to me you've done a good job of really guiding yourself. I'm gonna ask you this question.
Okay.
What's something, what is something that you feel could be hindering you from growth?
Hmm. Um. Overthinking,
Okay.
like overthinking a lot.
Why do you overthink so much?
I'm really not sure.
Mm,
To
okay.
be honest, no. Let me go back. So
Hmm.
growing up, I think being sheltered and somebody always trying to think for you will make you
Okay.
start doubting yourself. Um, Something that, and it's opposite because my grandfather he was more relaxed and let
Hmm.
me be myself. My grandmother is more of the, I want to kind of control the outcome. You know what I'm saying? And that's just her way of. It's not a malicious thing. It's just old school people. They want to
Hmm.
control the outcome. They don't want you to make any bad choices, but you got to let people live and learn. You know, I get you have wisdom and life experience, but is letting people make their mistakes and not penalizing them for it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I feel like I'll have to walk on eggshells. You know what I'm saying? A
Okay.
lot in certain
Okay.
situations. If I mess up, then
Hmm.
I'm overthinking it, and then I'm like, oh, like I overthink to the point where I'm like, should I post this picture? It's like,
Oh wow.
yeah, like, oh,
Okay.
should I do this? I don't know, because you're doubting your own decision making because
Huh.
somebody's had their hand on you like this,
Mm. Okay.
so
I
they're making
got you.
you doubt everything. And there was actually a thread on Facebook about being sheltered where
Hmm.
if you had, and by the way, my parents aren't controlling, I still got to be me, but there's still
Yeah.
certain habits that, sometimes you don't get out.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
that can make you doubt yourself, where you're like, let me go soar, let me go make my mistakes, and don't
Hmm.
try to penalize me for it, which I could
Okay.
say, um, I've gotten to sometimes come back home, you know what I'm saying, and do
Okay.
my thing. I
Yeah.
can't say that everybody's not blessed to have that.
Yeah.
But at
True.
the same time, I don't want to be
Hmm.
judged by you either. I already have my own brain. I have my own soul where sometimes I can self assess something and say, okay, I was wrong.
Okay. Now
So,
question.
mhm,
Now with some of that you being guided and controlled in a sense, in a way,
in a
you know
sense,
what I
yeah.
mean? Now, do you why are you not, because normally it's linked to confidence, right?
Yeah.
So even I know somebody had to think for you, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Where are some areas do you think do you think you yourself, within yourself, you lack confidence? That's the first question I want to ask you.
Some areas I lack confidence. Uh, I don't know, decision making, like on important things, like,
Okay.
um,
So you just don't trust your ability sometimes. That's all.
sometimes depending on what the situation is, like monetarily, I don't trust my decisions.
Okay. So monetarily, you don't trust yourself with decisions. Now, how come you don't trust yourself monetarily with decisions?
Um, Money has been a very problem for me. Like, I don't know if I don't make enough or if I
Hmm.
do,
Okay.
make a lot, I don't know. Like it's like I'm always playing catch up, or I'm like, okay, should I be doing this or that? It's like I need to find the balance of still making sure I treat myself and pay myself, but also making sure I pay bills. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Okay.
so that's something that definitely I still work on. Even though I was in insurance and it
Yeah.
taught me a few things and I've
Hmm.
gotten better, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little more cognizant than when I was in my 20s. But in my 20s, because once again, my
Hmm.
grandfather would swoop in or he would be there, they would be there, you know,
They will be
it,
that cushion for you in
it'd be
case you
that
kind of fell a
cushion.
little low on some
Yeah.
funds there.
Yes.
Okay,
It's the
got you.
cushion. It's like, oh, well, you know. And in
Okay.
the episode that stood out to me on the Cosby's, remember when Denise wanted to buy a car
Hmm.
and her mom was like, you make these decisions and you know that comfortably we're going to swoop in, and we swoop in even when you don't know it.
Hmm.
And that was like, oh yeah, that's my life a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like
So now
swoop
you
in.
having to stand on. Now, how long have you been having to stand on your own? You know, is this? If your mommy asks, is this something that you've been battling for a while,
Yeah.
or okay?
Like
Now
I've
this
had my
could.
own apartment and stuff. I've lived on my own, but I never know how to balance it. Like
Mm,
I'll make and also I looked at the incomes I would make. They weren't a whole lot at that time. Then when
okay.
I finally did,
Hmm.
then I end up having things that throw me out of whack. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
okay.
So it's like, where am I going wrong? That's the part I want to figure out. Like, where am I
Okay.
going wrong? Like, where is the disconnect for me
Hmm.
and money and being in my head about it? Because I came into money plenty of time. I'm always blessed with abundance. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Got
In
you.
some type of way, I've came into money, but I get paranoid. I'm like, I don't know. And I think about like all the stuff I need to pay because I have medical bills, student loans, and
Okay.
and then I just shut up. I just shut down. And I'm like, okay,
Mm,
that's a lot.
okay.
I'm gonna shut down,
Got you.
and I
So
just do.
have you felt that, even like you said? Let me see. I wrote it down here. You said you had the cushion financially. You've always been blessed and been around the abundance part of it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so, with that being said, you said you had your own apartment. You're able to do things on your own. But
Mhm.
have you ever thought about a different perspective in terms of investing? Has that ever crossed your mind?
Well, yeah, like I said, I was in a company for 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned quite a few things, and I worked out a few things of mindset. So I learned everything is linked to your mindset. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And I had to reprogram my brain.
Okay.
Because I will look sometimes and be like, how are they doing it? Like, how are people doing this successfully? And I'm feeling like I'm not grasping it. But then I had to realize I'm not the only person out here like this. Like, I'm
Exactly.
looking at a perception, I'm not looking at the reality that all of us are struggling with something on that
Mm-hmm.
level in some shape, form, or fashion. I just have to find out where my disconnect is at.
Because
Once,
it sounds like to me that you have the information. You just have to implement. And a
well,
lot
that's
of times it doesn't matter. I'll tell you this. What my wife does is she trades. Now the thing is, you can trade with $20. You can trade with $5. You know what I mean? It
mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. You don't. A lot of people think you have to have a big amount of money to move around in order to see returns. Now
Yeah,
you can have. Now it does mean that when you invest more, you will make more. You know what I
of
mean? If you
course.
invest more, you'll make more. Now we do understand that concept,
Yes.
but um, how come you haven't like tried what have you implemented? I guess that's the real question. What have you implemented to try to make sure that you can invest so that you can see some growth with your money? Or do you feel confident enough to invest to see growth with your money?
I think my problem is the discipline. Um,
Yeah.
it's the discipline, and
Okay.
anytime I presented with something, I'm never making enough yet. And I'm thinking, like you said, I have to have all of this extra.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, I got all you gotta do is start here, square one. Once again, I was taught this, but
Mm-hmm.
it's implementing it and getting out my own head. That's where my overthinking comes in at.
Okay.
Where I overthink it and I get like, oh well, you know, the patience of just let it put it to the side, let it grow. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
So it's that 1+1, like the equate, like the reverse engineering where I'm at. I'm good at
Okay.
helping other people. Like I'm good at
Hmm.
coaching other people, doing all that. But
Yeah.
it's like I don't want to tell anybody anything I'm not doing. You know what I'm saying? I
Okay.
don't want to tell anything. Like so, I won't like when I would train people. I was
Hmm.
really good at that, but I would never tell them. I'm good at like repeating stuff and knowing that it's truth because I've seen other people's results. People around me get
Yeah,
results. But
definitely.
at the same time, I'm not going to harp on it because Nikisha is still learning. And I always tell people that when I was training them. I'm not
Okay.
a know it all. I can get you to this level, and then I'm going to hand you off to people who can go to the next level. I'm never going to pretend something
Mm.
I'm not.
Okay.
I
So
would
now
never
that
sit up and be like, oh, yeah, I'm balling. I got all it. No. I
I
do
see.
okay for myself. I invest in certain areas of my life where,
Hmm.
you know, and aesthetically or my, you know, making sure I pull it together and stuff like
Yeah.
that and doing what I have to do.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I'm never going to pretend I'm somebody I'm not. No. You know what I'm saying?
So it sounds like to me, discipline has to meet reality.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, discipline has to meet reality. So now I'm gonna ask you this. Now,
Okay.
what do you think that you can do in order to allow your discipline to meet reality financially?
Um, I was thinking in my mind at first that I need to work harder, but I already do a lot. I work hard. Number one, I need to go up on my prices of my business. I need to stop
Okay.
selling myself short. I do that
Okay.
a lot. I do too much free stuff or discounted stuff for people, and I'm shorting me, and I'm not, and it is putting me at a detriment and stressing me out
Hmm.
because I have to realize every time to remind myself, Nikki, this is your living. You don't have, I don't get disability. I don't get any of those things.
Okay.
So this is your means. Your business is your means to living. So you can't be lenient with people because people spend money in other places that they deem are important. And if they ask for your services,
Very true.
this is an investment into you're adding value. So don't sell yourself short. You're adding value. I have to
Very
remember,
true.
like,
Okay.
yeah, we cool and I'm great at what I do, but this is my business, this is my livelihood. You know what I'm saying? This is the only sole income I have.
Hmm.
I can't be scared to and by the way, I've been faced with being scared to ask for, you know, to invoice people. Overthinking.
Oh no, you can't do that, girl.
But the thing is, it's like, no, Nikki, this is your income. This goes back to the inner subconscious talk
Exactly.
of this is your sole business. I'm not
Hmm.
saying that people ain't got it like that, but they shouldn't hire you if they don't got it like that. It's
Okay.
it's a business mindset now. Like I have to switch and remember that, you know.
Okay.
And if not, I can look out for you and I'll let's make something, put something together so I can help you out. Because I'm not only solely in it for the money, but I have to remember that the money is what's going to keep me, you know.
Yes, and that's the biggest thing. I feel that a lot of business owners, when starting out, uh, like sir, you find a lot of people who work. You know what I mean, and they supplement their business as well. Like I
Mhm.
still work and I supplement my business as well in certain areas. You know what I mean. But with that being said, though, you know, I have the means to do that. You know, you have the means to do it too. You just have to navigate it just a little bit differently. Coming
Yes,
up on your prices, you said coming up on prices is a big one. So
it
definitely come
is.
up on your prices. Don't be scared to send people the invoice. Don't be scared to ask people for the money because the thing is, Nikisha, if you've done the work, you know what I mean? If
Mhm.
you've done the work, you need to be compensated for your work.
Yes.
Okay, so always remember that. Don't ever forget that. And number two is um, always try to make sure. Now, I know because you do this for me. I know what I pay you is worth what I pay you. You know what I mean.
Yes.
But always just that's just something to remember. Always make sure that the quality of work that you put out reflects the amount of payment. Also, you
Yes.
know what I mean. So that's a big thing. Don't be
Yes.
scared to send out the invoice, and always make sure your quality reflects the amount of money that you want to get paid.
Yeah.
Because it's like this. I know, yeah, you know, I know how to edit my videos and stuff. The intro we did, I did that myself. You know what I mean? It's because I know how I want certain things to look. But when it
Right.
comes to like certain reels or the stuff that I have you putting out, girl, go ahead, handle that. You know what I mean? I trust your ability to do that part because I ain't got time to be on CapCut like that. I ain't got time to be on all these different because I like the smooth edits. I like smooth raw edits, you know what I mean, that I could work with and put something to. That's
Yeah.
why I shine in. But
Yeah.
all this TikTok and all this other stuff, putting these filters behind, to me, I just have to turn on my brain more. And a brother don't feel like turning on his brain no more.
It's okay.
I just don't feel like it.
It's okay. I've learned that too. Like I did a project for someone,
Mhm.
and it was that moment that made me see my prices needed to go up.
Okay.
Because I did a lot of stuff. Just by the way, not formally trained or anything. These are just natural talents I have because I was always in art anyway. I know how to
Mhm.
draw. I know how to do all that stuff. I'm just creative.
Mhm.
And I'm like, Nikki, they're paying for your brain power because some people can look at something and don't
That's
even
it.
see what you've seen. They would have never thought to put that together. So it's also knowing your value. And I know one thing I fell off on doing very well was reading books. I had stopped self-developing. That was something I learned from my company, the PHP, was
Okay.
self-development. That's what kept my mind focused. And I said this week when I took my break, I need to get back to self-developing and my spiritual, the balance. Going into the new year, I need
Okay.
the balance of everything, mental health, physical, me losing weight, me doing all those things
Okay.
come together to
Yeah.
keep you grounded. You know what I'm saying? Making sure I have time for myself unapologetically.
Mhm.
Making sure that if I do spend money on myself, you work hard. Treat yourself. You don't have to go overboard. It ain't about. I'm not about to go to Louis Vuitton or nothing. I just want a good
Exactly.
meal and a nice cocktail, and I'm good. And
There
I've
you
learned,
go.
by the way, I've learned ways to be cost effective. That's the thing.
Okay.
I've learned ways
Okay.
to be cost effective on a
Okay.
lot of the stuff I do. So like I'll work for people to get that discount or barter something. You know what I'm saying? So people, I'm
Mhm.
not going out spending hundreds of dollars. I've sat with people when I was in finances that would spend hella money on stuff, and I'm like, Nikki, you're not doing that bad. You need to make more money
Yeah.
because I
Okay.
don't buy things whole price. I don't go out here on shopping sprees.
Mhm.
Buy as I need. Is my mindset is there. I need to stop doubting myself
There you
and
go.
living in my own head, and also believing I am worth what I'm asking.
There it is. And see, this is why people. This is why we have these conversations. This is why we do sessions like this because and I hope and we're gonna keep it 30 minutes because
Okay.
you know what, Nikki, what you did was, and I know her name says Nikisha, but I call her Nikki. You know what I mean? The people who know they call her Nikki, but y'all call her Nikisha. But anyway, but yeah, this is why we do stuff like this because you know when we have these conversations, you see, we started off like just to do a quick recap. We started off talking about you wanted clarity on your I'm sorry, people. I have chicken scratch. That's part of my problem. Life coach Jeff need to work on his chicken scratch when he be
I got
taking his notes because it makes sense when I write it down. But you wanted clarity on like your okay, let me bring it on back. Let me bring it back. You wanted clarity on your patience. That's what you wanted on. You
yeah.
first wanted clarity on your patience and your need to be heard. That's what we were focusing on. But then once we did a deeper dive, you know what I mean? We started talking about how your need and want to be heard. You know what I mean? Coming to those conclusions, people listen to you. Uh, you want to see, you want people to see what you think and hear. You know what I mean? But then we flipped it and then we started talking about the financial part. So I don't think it was really the patience part that you needed. I think what it really was it was the whole financial piece in you believing in yourself and in your business.
Mhm.
Because Nikki, that's what's going to get you over the top. That's what's going to boost your confidence. That's what's going to boost more of the great productivity that you already push out. And then if anybody does want something extra, you'll say, hey, that'll be an extra $100 or $50 for me to do that because it does take work. For people that don't know, editing takes a minute to do. It takes a while to do, and I want to let people know this because I'm not doing this on her behalf. I'm doing this on my behalf. I'm doing this on anybody else's behalf who edits, because it takes time to figure out how to represent a person the way they want to be represented, right?
Yes.
And then you have to go back, show them the product. You have to get critiqued. They have to tell you what you want in or out of it. So that's time consuming. You know, very time consuming. So when people ask for $250, $300, $400, $500 for work that they know they have to put out for you, they're not charging too much. Let me tell you something. If you want to, I'll say this for you too. For people who edit like these different promos, commercials and stuff like that for people, they can cost anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. It takes different mics, it takes different booms, it takes different other things, equipment that you need in order to put that together. You know what I mean?
And subscriptions and the things
Yeah.
that we're utilizing are layered.
Yes.
I'm not just throwing out a price. I'm grossly underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yes,
I did a project that I raffled off, and some stuff I will do just to get the experience, so I know that I know how to do it, and now I know it's already in my repertoire.
Yeah.
But I did a photo shoot with my iPhone, edited, made it look like we were in a studio, then put the video together, and then layered that, and then went for edits. That took me from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. just to do the first half of the editing. From the photos to putting it together, to putting the right music, finding the right music. I pay for the music. I pay for the different effects. You see, I'm paying for all of this. It's not no free stuff. So when people, photographers and videographers are charging you what they're charging you, it's time consuming. It's their hourly rate plus the equipment plus everything they're utilizing for you. All this stuff is not free. We got to go pay for all of this stuff.
Exactly.
And then our time.
Exactly. So the big take I want you to get out of this, Nikki, is stop doubting yourself. Stop overthinking. You know, you have the ability to make great decisions. Okay. And just know that we all fall down. You know what I mean? It's certain decisions that I've made wrong and bad decisions. But if you always keep a mindset of learning and taking something out of it, that's what'll keep you grounded more so. So the next time you might go down the same path, but you going down that same path, it won't allow you to make the same decision twice.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So just make sure whenever you get to a crossroad and you feel like you're being lowballed or something, just tell somebody, hey, pay me this. This is what I need. This is what I want. You know what I mean? Say, when somebody asked me, like, I had to turn down a job. They wanted a whole commercial set up. I told them I was willing to just get paid $100 an hour for that. And you know, they didn't want to pay me like $400, just 2 days of shooting. And I was willing to bring out my lights, my camera, my gimbal, everything. But they did not want to pay that because they were being cheap. And I said, no, I didn't care about the experience. I knew the work that I put out and what I've done.
Right.
I could have easily charged them $800-900 easily.
People don't get you get what you pay for and what you're investing in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The word is investment. If you're in business, you're going to have to invest in marketing if you want an effective business. I'm telling you that.
Definitely.
And by the way, the more exclusive you are, meaning like you notice like Rolex, all those places, they were like, oh, they don't have commercials. Oh, they do. They just got a target audience. You don't have enough money in your bank account for them to put it on the TV to show you.
Exactly.
That's the point you want to get to. So you got to start somewhere. But guess what? They started somewhere. They didn't start off top of the line. They started off somewhere. They started off believing the investment is the belief in your product.
Exactly.
And you have to invest in that.
Definitely.
You don't know who's going to bless you. I've learned that too. You don't know who's going to bless you. I had a photographer just tell me, I'll do your headshots and stuff last night.
There you go.
He said, just pick out your outfits, tell me what to pull up. He said, don't worry about the monetary. He's like, we got that later, but I want to see your business grow because I've been seeing you grow. I've been seeing you shine. I've been seeing you improve. You're killing it.
There you go.
Watching you.
That's it. Say that again. Let the people know.
You don't know who's watching you, and it's not in hateration just because they don't like everything.
That's
Sometimes
right.
people are watching to see how consistent you are and how serious you are about your craft. So then they are willing to brag about you to other people, and those people will pay the prices.
Exactly. Now, yo, this is great. Now, I'm glad we did this today. I want to thank
Yeah,
you. I want to thank you, Nikki, for coming on and just sharing with the people. Like I said, we started off in one area, and then that's normally what happens. We start off in one area, and it tends to go off into what's really needed and what
yeah,
really needs to be on. So I just thank you for airing that out for people. I thank you for allowing people to listen because Nikki, what you said today, everything you said today is going to help somebody. And that is the purpose of why we are doing this now, because we are trying to take these next episodes and this whole show to a different level. So now we can turn it into people helping people. And I
yeah,
thank you for doing that, Nikki. I thank you for doing that.
yeah.
So, all right, y'all. Once again, I thank you, Nikki, for coming on, and let the people know, Nikki, where they can find you real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here.
You guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Nikki Sleep Designs. And then on Facebook, you see my name here is Nikisha, the Kenyatta Spiller on Facebook. And you can also email me at Nikki's Sleep Designs at gmail.com if you want any kind of social media, flyers, promos, websites, anything like that that'll help your business grow. I want to see more businesses growing because I know that's one thing that affects small business owners is the marketing. So let me help you, and I want to spill my drip all over your brand.
Boom, there it is. It's Nikki Spiller wanting to spill her drip all over your brand. Dennis does it real good when I go on Shop Talk. He does
He
it real good.
does. He
I
has the
can't
sound
do it.
effects.
Yeah, he has the sound effects. I ain't the guy for that. Big ups to Dennis, Shop Talk 7, and Media Monics for their podcast. They do great network of people. I'll be stopping up there too. And it's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, the owner and founder of Redirect Regroup Refocus, and also your host of the Redirect Regroup Refocus podcast. I thank you all for listening, and we will be back here again next week with another person to life coach. And remember, Redirect Regroup Refocus. I love y'all. Peace out, everybody.